Well, I guess I'll just start and see if anybody had any questions about articulation agreements. How many of your schools do have articulation agreements that you're aware of? And how are they working? Are you happy with them? And what do you tell us?
Well, in my department, we teach mainly engineering students plus the service courses. And there's a group called the Dean's group. They're actually not all deans, but they're from various colleges in four-year colleges and two-year colleges in New York State. And they meet periodically. And what you were saying before about making sure the fit is right, that's exactly what they do. One of the people in my department is a member of that Dean's committee. I'd like to pray.
Right back here.
Are you didn't get it? Yeah.
For which committee?
Dean's committee?
No.
No.
Anyone else have any comments about how they're working? Are they listening to the students or not listening?
We have 30 different colleges and over 100 articulation agreements, and they work very well.
Where it was President
Monica Foote Community College in Johnstown, Westchester.
And are they all student schools or are you having private schools?
No, we have both private and student. I mean, probably the majority is student, but we also have, RPI is a good example that some of our Hudson Valley has agreements with them, but it's such they're becoming, with the private colleges, I think we have a new person coming on to do articulation agreements, and I think we're going to really probably see a lot more with the private because we have so many students that can't afford the tuition. I had a student in my office just recently who graduated valedictorian from the local high school, has been accepted to RPI, and is deferred for 2 years, and he's going to save $100,000. I mean, it's big money that it changes. So they work well for us, and we're finding more and more students using them for the more expensive schools.
Shelley, has any consideration been given, and this sounds like a life experience credit, but has any consideration been given to returning veterans and giving them a flat number of credits based on a year in the service or some measurable amount of time like that?
The answer is yes, and I'm going to actually defer to General Holt here, who's going to talk to us about it. But yes, veterans do come with a military transcript, and those courses are accredited by the American Council of Education. So they bring with them a transcript, and we do evaluate those transcripts, and they are given the credit. But they have to come with, it's not, we also returning students can get life achievement credit if they happen to have open elective credits. They can do that. But the military, they provide an actual military transcript.
Yes, but military transcript would infer they've taken certain courses while in the military, wouldn't it?
Well, they do. It's part of their training.
I'm in this sense, a flat grant of credit, 5, 10, 15 credits, just for service in the military for a period of time. Let's say 1 year or whatever these are.
Well, at Mercy, we have our general education requirements, we have our major requirements, and then we have open electives. So anyone actually who's over the age of 25 who has significant working experience or life, we don't call it life experience, we call it life achievement, because just having the experience doesn't necessarily mean that you learn anything, right? So, but if you learn something from it and if you've achieved something from it, we have a portfolio process. We have actually an online course in portfolio preparation where you document what you've done. So we don't just give it across the board for having the service, but you have the opportunity to document the kinds of experiences that you've had, what you learned from them, and you actually can get up to 30 credits for that.
And I guess maybe to add on to that, and I just left Mercy and went with LIBI, so I'm going from a 4-year college to a 2-year college. But one of the things that we did at Mercy, you need to have somebody on your campus in your school who knows a little bit about military service, who knows what the new GI Bill provides. When you're talking, when I hear conversation about, all right, many for-profit or even not-for-profit, when I hear about students struggling to get the tuition and having a lot of financial aid to repay, the new GI Bill will basically cover any student for the 2 years you have them and the 2 years going forward, if they've been full-time soldiers. Now, we don't have a big garrison like Fort Jerome and the 10th Mountain Division in this area. What we do have are a lot of Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve, Air National Guard, Army National Guard. Maybe to add on to that, and I just left Mercy and went with LIBI, so I'm going from a 4-year college to a 2-year college. But one of the things that we did at Mercy, you need to have somebody on your campus in your school who knows a little bit about military service, who knows what the new GI Bill provides. When you're talking, when I hear conversation about, all right, many for-profit or even not-for-profit, when I hear about students struggling to get the tuition and having a lot of financial aid to repay, the new GI Bill will basically cover any student for the 2 years you have them and the 2 years going forward, if they've been full-time soldiers. Now, we don't have a big garrison like Fort Jerome and the 10th Mountain Division in this area. What we do have are a lot of Army Reserve, Air Force Reserve, Air National Guard, Army National Guard. Many of these young kids have been to Iraq and Afghanistan at least once, maybe twice, okay, over the last 7 years. Okay. They get pro-rata parts of the GI Bill, which means if you become viewed as a veteran-friendly school, and you have somebody who can speak to a potential student about what they can get and how they come out at the other end of 2 years with maybe not only a darn penny, you've got a much better ability to bring that student to, in my opinion, to your school. The second part, to address coursework within the military, regardless of service. At Mercy, I ran the Corporate and Homeland Security program. And when I would get a military kid coming out, wanting to come into my program, I would say, bring me a transcript, bring me a diploma, bring me everything you've got. If a kid had a 1-week class, now, I probably wouldn't accept that, but if they had something that was longer, a developmental, an NCO leadership course that went in as, private and 4 years later came out as a staff sergeant, and they've had that training that builds up to that. Or if they've been in, depending on the military occupational specialty, what they were in and how it applies. So, as the program director, I would look at these and say, yeah, no, maybe, yeah. And the ones where I hit a maybe, I'd go talk to advisors, or, Shelley and I have worked, closely over the last 3 years and say, Shelley, what about this? This is covered in the articulation, what have you? So I would strongly urge that the men and women in this room, look at the veterans, the new GI Veterans Bill, that takes the service since 9/11, 2001, and brings it forward. It's a great benefit to the students, and I don't want to say a windfall, but a good way to bring students in for programs that are appropriate for them. And I'm going to go fast. I listed about a dozen things, most of which have been said earlier this morning. But given my background, I've got 38 years in the uniform. Okay, so I've dealt with young men and women my whole life. But not in an academic environment, per se. But one of the things I would strongly urge, because I was a first-generation college student, first one of my family ever, and I struggled like hell as a young man, first year.